Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. The Mnangagwa 2030 bandwagon is gathering momentum, and it is set to steamroll the nation into voting yes to allow the postponement of the 2028 elections. What shall we do? Some people have asked. It's a good question. The answer is the same answer I gave when people asked, should they participate in the 2023 elections? Do not participate. The same answer I gave, and many others have given when asked, should we participate in the 2018 elections, and so forth. Zimbabwe has proven in 2008, beyond all doubt, that elections in that country are flawed. So flawed, you cannot make any difference. The country had the opportunity to implement the democratic reforms during the GNU of 2008 to 2018. Unfortunately, not even one token reform was implemented. And we've had people like David Coltart honestly admitting the sheer pointlessness of participating in these flawed elections. In his case, he has gone on further to explain why the opposition have been participating in these flawed elections out of greed. We can't keep repeating the same mistake over and over again. We really need to make progress here. We cannot pretend we don't know the election process is flawed, and that by participating in it, we give Zanu PF legitimacy. SADC, to be fair to them, and the AU, election observers, condemned 2023 elections. They dismissed them as flawed and illegitimate. We failed to even observe our own electoral act and the Constitution. We failed to carry out elections to meet the accepted SADC election guidelines. If Zanu PF rigged the 2023 elections, and it did rig, we cannot deny it, it is naive to think that Mnangagwa would not rig the referendums to decide whether or not to postpone the 2028 elections. Of course he will. There's been talk of Mnangagwa 2030. The talk started, if the truth be said, soon after the 2023 elections. We all remember this. truth be said, those people were singing soon after the 2023 elections. Some in the party said that is ridiculous. Mnangagwa himself said, no, I honor the Constitution. By a year later, by end of 2024, at the Zanu PF party conference in Bulawayo, everybody had been whipped into line. The party endorsed the idea that Mnangagwa should stay on. This is what we are talking about here. As much as the nation and many of us are against the idea of Mnangagwa staying in, much less corrupting the Constitution to allow him to stay on in power beyond the maximum 2 terms. The truth of the matter is, the bandwagon is gathering momentum, and it's going to steamroll the whole nation into submission. There can be no question that Mnangagwa will rig those elections. If he rigged the elections last year, 2023, he will have no problem rigging the referendums to make sure he gets what he wants. Mnangagwa does not care about free, fair, and credible elections. That's one message that most people are forgetting. Here he is insisting that the 2023 elections were free, fair, and credible, and dismissing with utter contempt the reports by other regional bodies like SADC and the continental body AU condemning those elections.
Zanu PF zvakanaka ukavona vavengi vakwasi kurumbidzwa nekuchikanganisa ukavona vachiti Zanu PF yakaipa farai because you are doing correct things for your country. Hongu takaita maelections edu kuna vamwe vaitaura zvisina musoro zvikanzi maelections anafamba zvakanaka ndezvavo.
I repeat, Mnangagwa will blatantly rig the referendums on whether or not to postpone the 2028 elections. And all those who complain about it, you dismiss them with the usual contempt. This is what we are talking about. The truth of the matter is, we already know that without reforms, Zanu PF will never, ever hold free, fair, and credible elections. But what we've got to also appreciate is that as long as we keep on participating in these flawed elections, we give Zanu PF legitimacy. The opposition has been participating in these flawed elections out of greed. It is unfortunate that the penny has not dropped, that the opposition, the MDC, CCC, have long stopped serving the public interest. The truth of the matter is they have. Chamisa participated in 2023 elections out of greed. He lied to the people that he had plugged the vote-rigging loopholes to con them to participate. And they have since been refusing to accept that he lied. I expect Chamisa will participate in these referendums and assure the people that Zanu PF will be defeated. But let me assure you again, as long as people participate, and they participate in their millions, they will give the process legitimacy. It is ironic that one of the things that the people of Zimbabwe were fighting for in the fight for independence was one man, one vote. And yet, as the country moved closer to independence, Zanu PF has shortchanged the people. Zanu PF has never held free, fair, and credible elections. Zanu PF has never allowed the people of Zimbabwe to have one man, one vote. And now, what the party is doing with these referendums is taking that right away altogether. While the regime has rigged the elections in the past, if they rig these referendum, they will not have to bother about calling elections. Because if they can postpone elections for 2 years, they can postpone them for 5 years, 10 years. Once you've opened the genie, you've let it out of the bottle, you can't put it back. How ironic that we fought to have a meaningful say in the governance of the country, and so many lives were lost in that fight. And now, after 45 years of being shortchanged, of being cheated, of exercising that right, we find ourselves full circle. The regime is taking that right altogether. We're back to where we were before independence. Blacks did not have a vote. If Mnangagwa has his way, we still have no vote. He will have stripped that right altogether. It is sickening that Mnangagwa is cheating the people out of their right and then pretend that that is what people wanted. Losing the people's right to a meaningful say in the governance of the country is no different from the turkey voting for Christmas, knowing that it will be on the menu. Of course, it's an insult. But this is what Mnangagwa is doing. People will complain that the referendum was not free, fair, and credible. And this is Mnangagwa's answer to those people.
Vakatuka Zanu PF kana ndonyanyisa kufara zvakanaka. Ukavona vavengi vakwasi kurumbidza nekuchikanganisa, ukavona vachiti Zanu PF yakaipa, farai, because you are doing correct things for your country. Hongu takaita maelections edu, kuna vamwe vaitaura zvisina musoro zvikanzi maelections anofamba zvakanaka, ndezvavo.
Zanu PF, Mnangagwa will rig the referendum. The only thing people can do is to stop participating in these flawed elections. That is the only thing to do. Think about it. Thank you very much for those of you who were able to join. I hope you'll be able to join us at 6 UK time, 8 o'clock Zimbabwean time. Good night.